Hey everyone, and welcome back to Talk Tickers. You know us, your one-stop shop for dissecting earnings calls. And today we're diving deep into Exact Science's Q4 2024 report.
Yes.
And to help us break it all down,
Break it down.
we've got the amazing expert speaker with us.
Always happy to be here. So, Exact Sciences, right?
They're on a mission to eradicate cancer.
Big mission.
Huge mission. And their latest call, well, it gave us a peek into how it's all going.
How's it looking?
Looking pretty good, I got to say. But let's, start with the big picture.
The numbers?
The numbers. Exact Sciences had another good quarter. Revenue growth, 10%.
Not bad.
Not bad at all, reaching $614 million. But hold on, it gets better. Their adjusted EBITDA jumped a whopping 52%.
Whoa, okay, that's...
$75 million.
They're not messing around. Those numbers are a sign of, real financial health. And they're executing their strategy well, it seems. It's not just growth, it's profitable growth. And that's what makes this so interesting.
You hit the nail on the head. Now, let's break it down a bit, segment by segment.
Okay.
Cologuard, their flagship product, right?
Right.
It drove a 14% increase in screening revenue,
Right.
bringing in $553 million.
That's huge. I mean, it shows that non-invasive screening is really catching on. They're getting new customers every week, providers, patients, everyone's embracing it.
What about their precision oncology segment?
Yeah. That's where their Oncotype DX test is, right?
Right.
They saw a revenue increase there too, although not quite as dramatic, reaching $161 million, mostly fueled by growth, internationally. Seems like Oncotype DX is finding its place globally.
Okay, so let's look ahead now. Sciences has a lot in the pipeline. They're not shy about it at all. Cologuard Plus, launching this year. FDA approval, check. Medicare pricing, secured.
Cologuard Plus, huh? With its increased accuracy, that could really shake things up in the colon cancer screening market. It shows they're not slowing down on the innovation front. I'm really interested to see how it performs.
Me too. But hold on, there's more. Oncodet, their molecular residual disease test, is set to launch in Q2 2025.
Early detection is everything. And this test could, seriously change patient outcomes. I mean, imagine catching cancer recurrence months earlier than we can now.
It's amazing. And then there's Cologuard, their multi-cancer screening test, launching later this year. The early data, promising. And they're using their existing infrastructure, to get it out there.
Cologuard is fascinating. Think about it. A single blood test that can screen for multiple cancers. It's a bold idea. If it works, it could be revolutionary.
It really could. They also talked a bit about a blood-based colon cancer screening test that they're developing.
Yeah, that market's getting crowded.
That's
Lots
it.
of companies going after it. Exact Sciences saying their test will stand out, because of the science behind it and the cost. But we'll have to wait and see.
So big picture, Exact Sciences is making waves. Financially strong, launching these game-changing tests. And they're not slowing down.
It's an exciting time to be following them. They're not just making tests, they're building a whole system, a whole ecosystem for cancer care. And that, combined with their financial strength, makes them a force to be reckoned with. Back again with Talk Tickers, and we're still knee-deep in this Exact Sciences earnings call. Lots to unpack here.
Yeah, in part one, we sort of laid out the big picture, right?
Yeah.
Their financials, the new tests they're launching, and how they're basically building it, like you said, an ecosystem for cancer care.
Right. So now let's zoom in, Let's take a closer look at those tests, starting with Cologuard Plus. This is, it's the next generation of their colon cancer screening test. And the numbers are impressive, 95% sensitivity.
That's really high.
And 94% specificity.
Okay, so what does that actually mean for patients?
So those numbers, they mean it's really good at, finding cancer when it's there and not flagging people who don't have it. False positives, those are always a concern with any screening test, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody wants to go through extra testing if they don't need to.
Exactly. And that extra testing can be, invasive and expensive, Cologuard Plus, it really minimizes that risk.
And they're planning to launch it, second quarter 2025?
That's the plan. Starting with Medicare patients and then expanding to other payers, they seem pretty confident about getting, widespread coverage.
Which makes sense. I mean, they've had a lot of success with Cologuard already.
Oh, yeah. And Cologuard Plus, it's even better. So, yeah, this could be a big moneymaker for them.
Okay, what's next on the list? Oncodet, right?
Oncodet, yep. Their molecular residual disease test, or MRD test, as they sometimes call it. This one is all about early detection.
Okay. break that down for me. What does MRD actually mean?
So think of it like a really sensitive radar system for cancer, right? It can pick up even the tiniest signs of recurrence. It analyzes something called circulating tumor DNA.
Wait, hold on. I got to write this down.
Circulating tumor DNA. It's ctDNA for short. Basically, it's tiny bits of DNA that cancer cells shed into the bloodstream.
Oh, I see. So by finding the ctDNA, they can spot cancer even if it's too small to be seen on like a scan.
Exactly. And the earlier you catch it, the better the chances of successful treatment.
That makes sense. So Oncodetect, is it available for like all types of cancer?
Not yet. Initially, it's going to be for colorectal cancer. The launch is planned for Q2 2025, same as Cologuard Plus. They've already submitted data to Medicare for reimbursement.
But they're moving quickly.
Yeah, but they're also looking at expanding its use to other cancers, like breast cancer, down the line.
And that brings us to their third big launch, right? CancerGuard.
CancerGuard, yes. This is the multi-cancer screening test everyone's talking about, and for good reason. It's potentially a whole new way of thinking about cancer screening.
In what way?
Just one blood test, one test, and you can screen for multiple cancers. That's the goal. That
sounds, I don't know, almost too good to be true.
It does, doesn't it? But the early data from their Ascend-2 study, it's promising. It showed 98.5% specificity and 62.3% sensitivity for a range of cancers.
Okay, so high specificity means what? Very few false positives.
Right. And then the sensitivity, that's the percentage of actual cancers it can detect. And for the more aggressive types, the sensitivity was even higher, like 67.1%.
So catching those aggressive cancers early, I mean, that could really make a difference.
Absolutely. They're aiming to launch a lab-developed test version in the second half of 2025. And like with their other launches, they're going to use their existing infrastructure, their sales force, the relationships they have with payers, and their Exact Nexus technology platform.
Right. That platform seems to be a big part of their strategy.
Oh, it is. It helps them get these tests out there faster, more efficiently. It's like they're not just developing tests, they're building a whole system to get those tests to the people who need them.
So we've got Cologuard Plus, Oncodetect, CancerGuard, 3 big tests launching this year. Exact Science is clearly not afraid to push the limits.
No, they're not. But it's more than that. It's not just about being cutting edge. It's about developing solutions that actually make a difference in people's lives. That's what's so compelling about them. They have a clear mission, and they're executing it, with speed and precision. It's really impressive.
And we're back for the final stretch of our deep dives into Exact Science's Q4 2024 earnings call.
Yeah.
It's been quite a journey, wouldn't you say?
Definitely a lot to process. They're a company that always seems to, generate some excitement.
Yeah.
Their ambition is, it's contagious.
Yeah, for sure. But before we wrap up, I want to kind of step back for a second and talk about the bigger picture of like what Exact Sciences is actually doing. I mean, they're not just making tests, right? They're like changing how we think about cancer care.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just about finding cancer early. They're trying to build this whole ecosystem, right? Screening, treatment, monitoring, everything all personalized. So you're giving patients and doctors information so they can make better decisions.
It's like a holistic approach, I guess you could say. Recognizing that cancer is, it's complicated and everyone's different.
Exactly. And their impact goes way beyond just the patients they're treating. They're actually influencing the whole healthcare system.
How so?
Well, they're pushing this idea of early detection and personalized medicine, right? So instead of just reacting to cancer when it's already a problem, you're trying to catch it before it even becomes a problem.
That's a pretty big shift in thinking.
It is. And they're not just talking about it, they're actually doing it. Look at Cologuard, Oncotype DX. They've shown they can develop and launch these groundbreaking tests.
Right. And they're putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to R&D, so they'll keep pushing the boundaries.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, but you know what time it is, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Time for our favorite segment. This is not financial advice.
All right, gotta have some fun. So given everything we've talked about, their growth strategy, their innovation, their financials, what's the most outrageous but plausible trade idea you can come up with?
Okay, let me think. Okay, how about this? Short the entire traditional healthcare system and go long on Exact Sciences.
Whoa, that's a big one. But I like your thinking. They're definitely shaking things up.
Right. They're flipping the script. It's not about waiting for people to get sick. It's about preventing them from getting sick in the first place. And their tests, they're like a key part of that.
Exactly. They're moving away from those like one-size-fits-all treatments and towards personalized medicine. And their tests, they're giving patients and doctors the information they need to, take control of their health.
They're not just treating cancer, they're trying to make it so it never even develops in the first place. That's a huge change.
It's disruption in action. They're challenging the way things have always been done. And that's leading to, a lot of innovation in the industry.
Okay, but let's be clear. This is all purely hypothetical, right? We are not giving financial advice.
No, absolutely. But it's fun to think about these things, right? To kind of game out where the market might be going based on these trends. And it shows just how much potential there is in this whole field of cancer diagnostics.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up our deep dive into exact sciences, what's the big takeaway for our listeners?
Well, Exact Science is on a mission, right? A mission to eradicate cancer. And they're making some pretty impressive progress. They're developing these cutting-edge tests. They're growing globally, and their financials are, they're rock solid. And they're doing all of this while staying true to their values, They care about patients, and they're trying to make a positive impact on the world.
Yeah, they're a company with a bright future, that's for sure. And it's going to be really interesting to see what they do next.
Agreed. If you're looking for a company that's really making a difference, Exact Sciences is definitely one to keep an eye on.
Well said. And that's it for our deep dive into Exact Sciences. Thanks for tuning in to Talk Tickers, your source for all things earnings calls. See you next time.